Hey, Gearheads, it's Jeff with Gear Report. It is Thursday. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. That means it's time for this week at, this way, Gear Report. Yes. In this show, every week we talk about what's been published since the show last week, things that are upcoming. I'll be honest with you, I don't think TJ's going to make it to the show tonight. He's a little under the weather, which is a shame. I was really looking forward to hearing about his Tulsa trip. Dude, Gary, that's exactly what I was saying. What in the world's going on here? Yeah, I don't think TJ's going to make it. He says either he's got the Rona or he's got a really bad flu. He doesn't know, but regardless, he doesn't think he's up to doing the show tonight. So we're going to give him the night off so he can go relax. We've got one thing that published from last week. I actually have a bit of an agenda for this that I like to try to follow, but to be honest, I am a little, I don't want to say under the weather, probably more like just exhausted. I've been running kids around too much lately. So I think what we're going to do for this show is we're going to keep this one kind of brief. We're going to try to stay on topic and churn through the things on our agenda pretty quickly. So that means if you're out there and you have any, if you have anything you want to talk about, like if you're one of the people like Buck, the gun-loving grandpa that was at the Wanamaker gun show out in Tulsa, and you'd like to give us any feedback on how that went or on your interactions with TJ, if you happen to be the one that gave him the flu or the Rona or whatever it is, then you can speak up as well. I'm not going to hold it against you, and TJ's not here, so you're probably safe there as well. Let's see. Gun Snob slacking a little bit today, but it's to be expected. He got it from Snob. He could have. I wouldn't put it past him. Whether he's fake or real or not, I'm assuming he is the one that gave TJ whatever illness he has. Okay, that looks like a finger. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Anyhow, so that's what we have going on. Let's get into our agenda. We'll pop this up so everyone can see this show is sponsored by Right Town Optics. And there's their information if you want to get a hold of them, or if you have any interest in participating in Patreon. There's a link there or a URL you can check out if that's something that interests you. And it also talks about our new time down there as well. So on our agenda, recently completed reviews. This one's going to be really quick because we don't really have many of our guitar people here right now. So I'll just say, if you have any interest in how to make a budget version of the BB King, the classic blues guitar he called Lucille, and $400 may not sound like a budget guitar, but for this type of guitar with all the features that are on it, this could easily be $1,000 for a lower end model, $4,000 or $5,000 for a higher end model. So $400 really is doing this on a budget. This was submitted by a guy named Ty Newcomb, who does some really neat projects. So you can see what it looked like to start out with. Pretty plain Jane, and then what it looked like when he was finished. And he's got a video at the end as well. So if you want to check it out, see what it sounds like and everything, I encourage you to check out that review, that video, all that good stuff. Maybe you want to try to do a project like that yourself. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But there's all the details, links to all the products you need to do it. It's all there. Only thing missing is you. Kevin, all right. Hey to you too. All right. We need to talk at some point, Kevin. I've been holding off on sending you an email with like an invitation to come on and let's do like a live stream and talk about silencers of any brand you like. I'm not gonna ruin the surprise here. Let's just say Kevin has something to do with silencers, right? So anyhow, I haven't yet because my schedule's been a little crazy, but that's something that is still kind of sitting there. As soon as we get that sorted out, then we will. Then I'd like to make that happen. Let's see. Oh, everyone being nice here. Good to hear. Budget ukulele. So I heard, I saw some video on that. So you may have seen a few weeks ago, we had some video of TJ and Snob doing a ukulele concert at the Iraq Veteran 8888 shoot up in the Gear Report headquarters tent. Apparently, there was a bit of an encore of that. It was pink. Yeah, we've seen it. It's old news. Snob embraced his pink side. So there you go. Not enough firearms on that wall. You know, I hear you and I agree. And I can't like keep my hands off of them when they're here. Like, I mean, I got a gun sitting here on the desk, and as long as I keep it in the box, you know, YouTubes, they're all okay with that. You know, the optic, I could get the optic out and handle it. That's not a big deal. I need to install that on that pistol, by the way. I'm actually using a $2,800 scope in the box to hold my laptop up at a better position. So, yeah, I mean, I got gun stuff here. I used to have gun racks and guns all on the back wall, but I do a couple different kinds of broadcasts from the studio, and some of them like some backpacking and camping things, and some various other stuff. And I got to thinking, you know, I need something more generic. We cover all kind of things at Gear Report, so the guitars are up there. But I think that from the rifles and stuff, I'm gonna have to try that at some point. Um, yeah. All right. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Is it? Oh, my goodness. Boy, that gets into some pretty deep discussions. I'll tell you what, if you want to shoot me a note, just send it to like guitar at, should name it Floyd. Okay. Oh, I can bring Ghost in here. If you want to send me an email, guitar@gear-report.com. I've actually got like 35 guitars in the office. I want to get down to about 5 in the next month or two. So I need to clear out a bunch. I probably have got some things that could be interesting for someone. Oh, actually, I've got something that could be real interesting for you. Anyhow, let me know. I'll hook you up. We've got a reverb store as well, which is, you know, Reverb is a music instrument sales site. Let me see here. I see you there, Ghost. I brought you up on the screen. I want to finish up this discussion, and then we can mingle. Let's see here. If I go to share screen. There we go. Gear Report Demo Shop. And we've got, looks like we have 21 guitars and amps and things listed right now. Some of them are a little spendy, some of them not as much. I think the one I was thinking of, oh, this one could be really interesting for a punk band. The Dimeback Daryl Bumblebee Firefly, they call it. It's a Razorback. That's a pretty mean guitar. This PVSC2 could be good. That's the one I was thinking of, and Ibanez RG350EX. That's actually a really, really cool guitar that can do all kind of stuff. So anyhow, if happy to chat with you offline about that. Yes, we did. Okay, Crystal. I never doubted you, by the way. All right. Aren't all ukuleles pink on the inside? Not mine. As far as I know. I hadn't really opened it up.
See, if Snob had a sense of humor, he'd name it Floyd. It'd be the Pink Floyd ukulele.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. I was kind of lost on that. But you knew what you were working with, right? I never claimed to be the brightest bulb on the tree.
Hey, when a crayon eater's the smartest guy in the room, then something's wrong with this chat. Just saying.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Nothing. Just waiting for it to get to be 23 degrees tonight. So yeah, just hanging out.
That must free up some time for you. When it gets a little more chilly, I bet the day job slows down a little bit.
Yeah, it does. This time of year, you know, once November hits, my days are a lot better, and it's not this busy at the shop. So it does help a little bit.
Right.
After a
Cool.
long summer, it's nice for a decently slow winter.
Good. I'm sure everyone there could use a little bit of a break after a hectic summer.
Oh yeah, you get burned out. By August, you're burned out. September and October, you're just holding on for dear life, waiting for November.
Yeah, no doubt. So, what did you think of the Wanamaker show?
I mean, it's the largest gun show in the world, so just in itself, and its essence is awesome. Of the been going for 5 years, whatever, sometimes twice a year. Of all the times that I've been, this was, I'm not going to say it was the worst. I would say it was the most, probably maybe disappointing. There were open areas, like not even tables, just bare areas that I've never seen before. Empty tables.
Wow.
Prices were still high, so it was kind of a weird thing. Now that being said, with less people there, it was easier to navigate. It wasn't, elbows just to butts and all that everywhere, so you could walk around a little bit more free. When I say less people, instead of having 25,000 people there might have been 18,000 or 20,000, but you could definitely tell it wasn't as busy. But it was still it's a great show. There was a lot of cool stuff there. Obviously got to see, everybody. So it was a great show. It was just, if you're a buyer, unless you were looking for something very specific, I I was telling someone the other day, this was the first time that I literally did not see anything that I just wanted to buy.
Wow.
So yeah, nothing jumped out as far as like hey, that's a fair price. I definitely want that. There were things I was looking for. I'm still looking for an M1 Grand. I think $1,800 was the cheapest I saw. Most of them were $2,200 to $2,500 for an M1 Grand.
Mm.
So it was one of those things. I always look at SKS. It's just because I like an SKS.
Mm.
The cheapest one I saw was $500 or $600. I used to be able to get them for 150, back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So it was just one of those things where prices are still high. Ammo prices were lower, not
Hmm.
low, but they were much lower than April. Um, so yeah, it's getting better. It's definitely getting better, but it wasn't the greatest Wanamaker.
Right. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that just being able to have it is a bit of a success in its own. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and you're talking about they're still probably having 20,000 people there a day. It may not be 25,000, but 20,000 people a day under one roof. Um, Free, no masks, no one complaining about social distancing. That side of it was very nice. It felt normal as far as that goes. What didn't feel
Mhm.
normal was it was just weird to have open spaces available, inside the building, which I've never seen before.
Yeah. Okay. So is that a preview for SHOT Show?
Um, I think possibly, sure. Clover had on the president and CEO of the NSSF on his podcast today,
Right.
and I was really optimistic hearing what he said. They're not going to have any additional restrictions that other than what the state and city have on, and there's rumors that the mask mandate might be lifted by January in Vegas, so that's positive. With the addition to the Caesars exhibit, opening up more space. They did say that the only thing that they're trying to do is with that additional space, create wider walking areas, not necessarily social distance, but just trying to create more room. So that'll be nice. But I think that there's going to be some companies that don't go. Probably, I know we know SIG, but there are others. But there's also, he said that there's well over. I think he said well over. I can't remember how many he said. Was it 50 or 500? I can't remember. Maybe there were. I think there's over 50 new companies that was on the wait list to get into SHOT. With the addition of the room at Caesars, are now able to be at SHOT. So there will probably be more vendors than there has been, just because they have the room for it now. Now, whether or not the people show up, to me, I don't care if the people show up. That's not on me. the less people there, the easier it is for me to maneuver, the
Yeah.
less noise I have to worry about, and all of that. So, I don't know. I'm sure there will be less, but you know, I'm excited. I'm excited for what I'm hearing from NSSF. I'm excited about what I'm hearing about vendors and brands being there. So I can't wait.
I'm waiting to hear from Clover because I heard what he said about, they're not going to have any rules additional to what's required by the facility or the various levels of government. Um, what I don't know is if the facility is going to put something in place that's outside of their control or whatever, or if they're going to enforce. That's something that there's some groups on Facebook for people who go to
Yeah,
SHOT Show, and I've seen
yeah.
a number of reports from people who live out there who go to a variety of shows saying
Yeah.
no shows are enforcing any of this stuff. They
I
all
don't
say
think
they
they
will.
can. There's no way, unless they're going to triple the security. I mean, at least triple the security. I don't think that there's any way. Will they have signs? Will they be making announcements? They probably have to. I don't foresee anyone walking around, excuse me, sir, put your mask on. I don't see that happening. That's just my personal opinion. I do know that he did say that there will be no vaccination requirements.
Yeah.
So that was a thing that a lot of people were hung up on. Um, it is what it is. But it was nice to hear that they were not going to impose any additional restrictions um, that the state or city or whatever going to have. And from what I understand, from what I heard, if I heard correctly, and I might not have, but I thought I heard correctly, that the only thing that the Sands has right now is what the city is, and that's the mask mandate because of the number of crowd. But they're also hearing that might be lifted even before January. So
Hmm.
they had SEMA there a week or two ago, and from what I
Right.
heard, that went off without a hitch. So if SEMA can do well, I'm assuming we'll do well as well. Also,
I hope so. He
are you planning on going, or are you still up in the air?
I'm still up in the air. I think TJ is more optimistic, but TJ also is able to get much better deals on airfare just because of where he flies out of.
Yeah,
It's less of an investment because of that. So
yeah. My airfare was very minimal this year. Was my round trip was under 250, like
mm,
round trip,
yeah,
which is great. It's the cheapest it's ever been. And obviously, I think that there might be a mask requirement to be on a flight. So for a few hours, I'll pull my gator up over my nose, take a nap, and wake up in Vegas. So
yeah, we'll see. I haven't decided what I'm willing to do yet, but because I'm done with all of that crap. I'm
no, I
done with
hear you.
doing things that I don't think make sense just because someone said to. And
Yeah,
yeah. So anyhow,
no, I get it. Yeah,
I don't know.
and there's going to be a lot of people, and I think that that's going to be the decision each individual has to make, and I think that as long as everyone's respectful of all the other decisions that everyone's making, it's all good. I mean, people are going to believe what they believe, and people are going to do what they want to do and have to do or want to do or whatever. The problem is when you start getting people within our own community dogging each other for going or for not going, and it's like that's a personal choice. Everyone has, like you said, everyone has their own system that they gauge whether it's they want to go and do what they need to do or not. So I think for the people that are there, for me, I said this all along. If as long as there's a SHOT Show, I'm going to be there. Um, that's how I am. If people decide, I've got friends of mine that we've been texting back and forth that said they're definitely not going for certain reasons. Hey, that's cool, bro. I hope I see you in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. Drive the Prius. I thought about that very briefly. Man, that's a long drive. Um,
From where you are,
yeah.
yeah, you're adding a week of travel time easily.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And to do that, to get out of wearing a mask on an airplane. I think I'll just eat and drink the whole flight.
Well, like I said, I'm going to put my gaiter on and I'm going to close my eyes. And luckily, I've been known I can literally sleep anytime, anywhere, under any conditions. So yeah, I'll probably just take a nap for a few hours because my flight to Vegas is nonstop. I fly directly into Vegas, so I can literally wake up and they'll wake me up when we land in Vegas. So I'm good.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. What else you got going on? We hadn't talked in a while.
Man, it's it's been nuts this whole year. It's been nuts the last couple of years at work, which is a good thing. But like I said, it's slowing down now, which is nice. I got so much stuff I've got to review. So you're going to start seeing a flood come in. I've got some Manta stuff coming in. I've got some long range stuff that I've kicked into the last couple months. I've got a bunch of stuff I need to review on those. So yeah, it's going to be now between now and SHOT. It's going to be catching up on reviewing some stuff. And then by the time SHOT comes around, we start the whole roller coaster over again.
Sure. Man, isn't that the truth? It never stops. That's good, though. Take the Gear Report Learjet. So here's the deal.
You mean the crop duster? I'm in.
No. I probably should talk to Jason and see if there's any way to work anything out there. Because we do have a Learjet pilot on the Gear Report team. We don't have a Gear Report Learjet per se.
Yeah, you could charter one.
Who drives one every day, who's on the team. So we kind of have one, sort of, but not really.
You may have access to, a rental, which would be good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to start rolling that deep on the expense account just yet. We shall see. That would definitely make for an interesting trip, though, wouldn't it?
I would fly to Carolina just to fly over on the Learjet with you guys. Yes.
Honestly, that could be. So here's the deal: if you can get the right deal, like at the right times or through the right connections, if you can get the right deal and get a few people lined up, it can cost the same as everyone taking a commercial flight. Like,
yeah, absolutely,
you can make it financially viable.
If you're willing, which if you're willing, I'm not saying you personally, but if someone is willing or a group is willing to, let's say, go down to a King Air, which is a turboprop versus a jet, it can still hold 8 to 12 people. It may not get there quite as fast, but who cares? It's a private plane. And like a turboprop is going to be much cheaper than leasing or chartering a jet. And you could still get the same amount of people on there, and it might be half the price to get like a King Air 2 or something.
Could be, yeah. I don't remember. We used to, back when I was in pharma, I was in a position where I had to fly quite a bit, and they would charter something like that. I don't know if they were King Airs. I knew what they were at the time. I don't remember.
And you can write that off, by the way. Just saying.
Twins, yeah. So I've flown on that type of a little private charter quite a bit, and it's okay. It beats being in the cheap seats on Frontier Airlines.
A King Air is a pretty cool. I've flown on it several times. A King Air is pretty cool for a several-hour flight. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure how comfortable it would be from East Coast to Vegas. Just saying,
It'd be a real long flight.
It would be a long flight. And fuel would probably be crazy just because you'd have to stop in probably Dallas or St. Louis, somewhere in the middle to refuel, I'd imagine.
Yeah. But, I will, if Jason doesn't show up during the show and mention something, I'll try to remember to send him a note pretty soon and say, hey, just if I was thinking about rounding up some people, what would it cost with the Friends of Gear Report discount? We'll see. Maybe that's something that could happen. And then I'll have to name drop, about, flying the private jet out for a SHOT show to everyone I talk to the whole week. So that'll be interesting.
Well, if nothing else, there could be some really cool content come out of that trip for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that's an excellently probably not good, but I'm going to run with it anyway idea. I'm not even going to point the wife back to you if I end up spending too much money on this. I'll say,
Like I said, you can write it all off. That's a great thing about it. You can write it all off on a business expense.
Yep. Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to buy another Humvee next year. Although who knows? That's
what kind are you looking at?
I mean, I've got one I'm happy with, but if I sell it,
oh, you said you're not going to. I thought you said you're going to buy another Humvee.
No, and it's every other year or two. That's a great way to get some business expenses. You know, as pretty much an online company, I don't have a ton of expenses, so that actually helps to buy something big every year or two. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Snob. Pretty much. I don't know if that's exactly how I would word it. I'd probably mention the Gear Report jet earlier in the discussion. Hey, I flew here on a jet. Oh, by the way, I'm on the Gear Report jet. Yeah, that would probably.
You're going to start every interview at SHOT Show with, "Hey, this is Jeff with Gear Report, just freshly off the jet. I'm here with so and so and so and so." It's going to be incorporated with every single interview.
Have to be like Learjet, because everyone who flies is pretty much on a jet. It'd be, yeah. I'd have to figure out.
I would say private jet. I would say I just stepped off the private jet. Ooh. You know, that makes you sound. Yeah, the private jet.
Just stepped off our private jet.
Our private jet, yes.
Yep. I like it. All right. And unless I can think of a more obnoxious way to say that, that's what I would go with.
Oh, we can come up with some agnostic. You know, we've got 2 months to figure out how to do this, but yeah, worst case scenario, we get the private jet. I think that yeah, we can come up with some cool stuff.
G6, G7, G8, whatever it takes. Yeah. What a private plane and no mask. Yep, pretty much.
You know, there's some old of those. Oh, what were they called? The ones that transatlantic that got you there in 2 hours to London from New York. What were those? The famous jet, the supersonic jet.
Concorde.
You know, they don't fly those anymore. So somewhere, somehow, there is a Concorde just sitting there being begged to be used. I mean, might as well be us.
Okay, make it happen. I'll just have to borrow a parachute from someone. Just in case.
Oh, sorry.
I said just in case.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So we step off the Gear-Report Concorde. We've got to get your buddies over at the gun range, the battlefield, whatever it's called,
Battlefield Vegas,
and pick us up in the Humvee limo. I mean, if we're gonna go, we got to go right. You know, who doesn't want to go down the strip with a turret with a 50 cal on top with a limo? I mean, that would be pretty cool. If you're gonna ball, let's go balling.
Yeah, but did you see this suggestion? The Prius limo.
You won't see me caught dead in a Prius limo. I'm just saying.
you drive a chick Hummer. Come on.
Hey, it's better than a Prius.
Okay.
Not much, but not the same power.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Wish.
Oh, we could.
I'll get a parachute off a Wish. Why wasn't I thinking about that?
Yeah, we could skydive. We don't even have to see. I wonder if do they cut the prices of the jet if we don't actually ask it to land in Vegas? Just fly over Vegas and we'll skydive out of there. Not a big deal.
I'm second guessing that one a little bit. I've jumped out of planes more times than I can count. Like legit, jumped out of planes all the time. I always had the good sense to only do it when the plane was on the ground.
Yeah, no. I've unfortunately I've always said I'm afraid of heights. I don't know if I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling and dying. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yeah, it's like I'm not afraid of water, but I don't like flying over the ocean or being out in the
yeah,
ocean,
it's like
you
I'm not
know?
afraid to fly. I'm just afraid of crashing into a mountainside, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Gear Report helicopter. I don't know
We
about
can make
that.
that happen.
I,
No, no,
I've
no.
never
We just
trusted
need to
helicopters.
take a helicopter tour while we're at Vegas and just get
Maybe.
the footage of us taking that tour.
You know, they've got Battlefield Vegas at their outdoor FOB shooting range area. They have a company that runs a helicopter with a minigun in it. You can run up and shoot it at the mountain, which is
Oh,
pretty cool.
now you're talking my language.
I don't like helicopters. I mean, oh, okay, bit of trivia for you.
Yeah.
I have landed in a helicopter once. I've never been in a helicopter when it took off. How did that happen?
You got me, man. I have no idea how you pulled that one off.
I
I'm sure
was
there's a cool story.
Yeah, I was picked up with, they call it the force penetrator. It's they put the little thing out on the winch and lower it down, and you
Sure,
unfold the little seat area and strap onto it, and they winch you up into the helicopter.
sure.
Yep. I think I would have
Yeah, I've
preferred to
never
be in
actually
it
been in one of,
sitting
I've
and
never
strapped
done
down.
that. I've been in many helicopters. Let me ask you this. Did you get sick the first time you ever in a helicopter?
No.
You know, I
Yep.
didn't, but we had some that did because it does move differently than something that you are accustomed to. It's not a car, it's not a plane. It moves differently, and some people. First time I was on one, we had a couple guys that ended up getting sick. Just I think they were just weren't used to the movements, you know.
Yeah, that is, I do call that the helicopter, actually. Um, so yeah, I wasn't in it very long. So for me, it was just at the Air Force Air Crew Survival School.
Yeah,
Part of the program was, they flew the helicopters in and lowered the force penetrator, and we'd get on, they'd reel us in, and once they did 3 or 4 people, then they'd go off to the side and land. So I was in
yeah,
it for 10 minutes at the most,
yeah,
probably less. Wasn't really long enough to get sick. And I was flying a lot then anyway, because I
yeah.
was crew on a military plane. I was taking flight lessons and flying a lot in small planes. So
Sure. Yeah.
I did get sick once while I was flying.
Oh, really?
Like I was driving. We were on the way to Myrtle Beach for lunch at the House of Blues,
Like in
because
a
that's what you
Cessna or
do.
something, or
What's that?
were you like in a Cessna or some little
Uh-huh.
single
Yeah.
engine? Okay.
Yeah, we called it the $100 hamburger, where we'd go every Sunday. Me and my friend John. John's a flight instructor, and uh, he finished up my instruction for my private pilot license. So once all that was done, we would go every Sunday morning and fly somewhere. Like out of
Right.
Central North Carolina, we fly up to Norfolk because they had a nice what was it? I think it was Hooters in Norfolk. And we went to House of Blues down in Myrtle Beach, or we'd fly out to
Mm,
the Outer Banks to there's a little shiny diner place out there in Manio. I mean, there are these little restaurants all over the Southeast that it's like, oh, where you want to go today? I don't know. I kind of feel like a steak. So we'd
it's a
pick a
30, 40,
destination that had
30,
a good
45
steakhouse.
minute flight or a 3 hour drive. Let's just get in the plane and go.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was stuff that it wasn't practical to go
Yeah.
if you were driving. But, we get there, and it was practice for flight planning and using
Hmm.
the charts and mapping out the course, and, checking weather and figuring out fuel burn, and, what your range
Sure.
was. I mean, it was a fantastic practical exercise and dealing with weather. He was an instrument flight instructor. He liked nothing more than to put me in the clouds where I couldn't see the ground and had to fly off of instruments. And
Sure.
but
Now did you get your instrument license or are you not
I
yet?
didn't. No,
Okay. Do you
I've
think
got.
you ever will?
I don't know. I don't know. At one point I thought about it, but I was around too many. I've been around too many commercial pilots, and all of them that I know pretty much, actually, probably Jason's about the only one I know that hasn't been, that isn't on like his third or fourth wife.
Sure.
That is an
Yeah.
incredibly hard occupation to maintain, a normal family. So
Right.
that's why I kind of ruled that out. I flew search and rescue for a little while. That was neat. But then I
Like on a
started having
volunteer
kids.
basis or something?
What's that?
Like a volunteer search and rescue thing?
I
Or?
was flying with the Civil Air Patrol. So
Okay, right on. I got you.
and
Yeah.
that's like the auxiliary of the Air Force. And at the time, they were doing like 80% of the search and rescue. Like if there was a beacon that showed up, we'd go up and flip the direction finder on, tune into the beacon emergency frequency, and flag grids until we figured out where the beacon was.
Gotcha.
Looking for
That'd be
people
kind
in
of
the
fun,
woods,
I
looking for
guess.
boats out on the water.
Yeah, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it could be. It could be really stressful too. I actually quit doing it because we had a really experienced crew that we lost. Like incredibly experienced. They were up on a training flight and burned in. And I said, you know what? I
If it could
got little
happen to them,
kids.
yeah.
Yep, I got little kids. Maybe now's not the time for me to be doing this. I need to get my career right and get the kids grown up, and
Yeah.
kind of quit doing that. Blue Thunder. Yeah.
They're talking about an ultralight getting to Vegas. Man, I don't know if it would ever get to Vegas if we did an ultralight.
Yeah, I don't trust ultralights. I've been in some small planes. I've been in some fairly unsubstantial planes.
Yeah.
Like for me at 6'4", the one that I always got a kick out of it, a Cessna 150 or a 152.
Uh-huh.
150 is just a little bit older. They're basically the same plane.
Right.
And it's like getting out of a clown car for me. Or like if I were
Well, for me, it's pretty luxurious. Just saying, I can fit in there relatively easy. But then again, I could fit in the trunk of most small cars too. So
you might be able to fit in the trunk of a small motorcycle, actually.
You could fit inside the trunk of a semi, maybe, but not a small car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The bad ideas are flowing tonight. I love it.
I have that effect on people, so.
Okay. Hang
Take a
glider
hang
to
glider.
video. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't trust gliders. I don't know. I've never been in one.
Yeah.
I just don't trust the concept of a glider. That's just not something I would ever do, I don't think.
Yeah, I'd do it in certain circumstances, but yeah. Probably not. Anyhow, okay.
Yep.
So where were we? What else you guys want to talk about? Because we had one review to talk about. We already did that. Nothing else was published. Hot air balloons. Yeah, that would be a raging disaster. Who knows where we would end up? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
We'd end up in Canada probably.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be an international incident in the making, certainly.
Man, Vegas looks a lot like Calgary. I don't understand this.
Yeah. But what do they say? No publicity is bad publicity. Is that what I hear? Something like that. So nope.
I'd say all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe this
we have enough material between all of your tents. We can make our own hot air balloon. Sew some tents together. We're good to go.
Oh, you know what? Which reminds
me. I don't know. Do you have any left? I don't know if you have any left or not.
Oh, I got too many left, actually. Yeah. I really not only do I have too many left, but I just got a note a couple days ago that the warehouse that they're in just sold.
Oh,
so
great.
I have to. I'm gonna have a new landlord, and I'm telling you, I have absolutely had a sweet deal on this. I can't imagine the new landlord will be like, yeah, just keep the same deal you had. It's good. The rent's
Right.
going to go through the roof. So I'm already thinking, all right, in the next week, I think the 23rd is when the new landlord takes over. So I've got a few days. Like this weekend, I'm probably going to spend shuttling. At least the warehouse is like 3 minutes from my house. I'm going to be
Yeah.
shuttling back and forth. I putting one tent at a time in the van, which means it's going to take like 15 trips to get what's left, and just put them in the backyard in the big tent that I have back there until I can
Right.
sell them.
Well, I mean, I guess you have to do what you got to do until
Yeah.
maybe you find another storage area. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been paying $133 a month. I'm not going to find
Oh,
anything like
wow.
that
Holy
for like a
cow.
really
Yeah.
big area. Now that I've been through them all and I have a tent set up in the backyard where I can put them, I think that's what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
then I'll save that money and I'm just going to discount the crap out of them to get rid of them, I think. So if anyone wants them, let me know. I'll make you a deal.
Right.
Yeah, $14,000 tents for $14 or something, maybe $140. I don't know.
140 maybe
Maybe
better. Yeah.
$400.
Yeah.
We shall see. The more I talk, the more the price goes up. So we'll just move on to something else before I price everyone out here. All right. Let me get back here. Load them in a trailer and drive them to Vegas. Oh, you
You
know
could.
what? I just had an idea.
I wonder if
Instead of getting a
Battlefield Vegas would have
hotel,
won some.
I can just set up at one of my portable castles on
Well,
the
you could have
strip.
one set up at range day, so you don't have to. You walk up and
That would be
just
awesome.
walk out the front door to range day, then set one up. I mean,
If we get there when they're setting up and just set it up and have like badges and a clipboard.
sure, they would never question it.
No. Talk to Frank. He said that we should put it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be kind of fun just so you wouldn't have to worry about anything like that. We should set one up inside the covered parking garage so it's covered
Mm.
and just stay in the parking garage right across from Sands or
I,
below Sands.
I'm wondering if I could
That'd
talk
piss a
Ron
lot of
into
people
letting
off.
me put it up at Battlefield Vegas because it would blend
I
in.
don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah. I tried to get him to let us stay there last time we were there.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then,
Well, how about you let me put a tent up and I'll stay inside the tent on your property?
right. I mean, I was like, yeah, I'll just sleep in the shop where you work on the Humvees. That'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Your couch, I'll sleep in the truck. I don't care. It was one
Yeah.
night. Who cares, really?
Right.
And he
Yeah.
was like,
That's right.
yeah,
I forgot you had like one weird like layover, like an extra night or something like that, wasn't there?
yeah. Well, we
You stayed one day later or something because you were
we
going to go on the
stayed an
tour or
extra
whatever.
day and
Yeah.
then went and spent that day at Battlefield Vegas.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And did some content with them. So I was like, hey, since we're staying to do this with you guys, how about we just like crash somewhere on your property? And he was like, yeah, we don't really have anything set up for that right now.
I could just talk about the greatest video in the history of going viral is having the CP tent there at range day, and you walk out with your underwear and combat boots, waving hi to everybody as you get up in the morning.
Walk out dressed like cousin Randy from Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, yeah. Shitter's full.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That could be good. Just don't drink the apple juice. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean
Oh, you know
specifically,
exactly what that's supposed to mean.
but I know that I tell everyone who is new to riding anywhere with me,
Yes.
I have very few rules. Wear your seatbelt. Keep most of your body parts in the vehicle. Don't throw things. Don't try to start fights with people in other vehicles without permission. And I don't drink apple juice. And people look, what do you mean? But I don't drink grape juice, whatever. I'm like, yeah, well, that's irrelevant. What's apple juice have to do with this? Like, hey, you find any apple juice,
Don't drink it.
It ain't apple juice. I don't
That's
drink
right.
apple juice. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, ew. Like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
The old Dumb and Dumber road trip, you know?
but I don't have to stop that often. Yep, I can't ride with Jeff. That was very presumptive. But we'll let
Stacy's
that slide.
assuming that you would want her to ride with you.
Or
You know?
allow her to ride with me. I
That's
mean,
correct.
geez.
Yes. That's correct.
It's a long-standing rule. I don't ride places with other people's wives.
On
It's just,
purpose.
well, I purposely
It
don't.
happen it happens to happen sometimes by mistake, but you know, that's not your fault.
I suppose I just make sure it
You
never happens.
know, when they
That's
say
the
they're
drama.
single, you just take them for their word, just like they say they're 18. You take them at their word.
You know, I got 2 teenagers in the house still. I got enough drama. I don't need any more.
Yes, you do.
Well, I don't doubt that. Of course, Mystic. It's bound to be awesome. I mean, that's what I've heard. Let me think. I've only heard one person ever say anything negative about Mystic, and I'm not going to repeat that because it was rude.
If it was snob, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. But
Yeah, sure.
anyhow, but he had that twinge. It felt like a defense mechanism. You know, he had that twinge of heartfelt. I'm saying this to make it seem like I'm a tough person, but deep
Yeah.
down inside, I just love her. That's how I took it.
Oh, snap. Wow. What happens in the tent stays in the tent, I guess.
Apparently.
Yeah, Crystal got initiated into the crew this weekend and she fit right in. Fit right in.
Oh,
As you would
that's
imagine.
good to hear. Kind of makes me question the crew a little bit.
Little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all do whatever works for your marriage. I'm not judging
That's
anyone
right.
here.
Yeah. Wrong show.
Yep. All right. So let's see. What else do I want to talk about before we shut this down? Because I am, man, I'll tell you, right about the time I moved the show from 8 to 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
one of my kids started a new swim practice schedule where it's
Fantastic.
every evening at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 o'clock, but then also 3 mornings a week at 5:30. So we're leaving.
Right.
I'm getting up at 4:30. We're leaving the house at 5 because it's a half hour away. So of course I moved the show to 9. We've
Yeah.
been on a kick where we're going like 2 hours for each show. It's past my bedtime by then because I got to get up at 4:30. So
I hear you.
I think I'm looking to shut this one down fairly soon here. I do want to brag about a couple things though. If anyone saw the screenshot, which I'm not even sure I can bring that up now. The screenshot for today's show, yeah, I literally am not sure how to get to that because I made it on the other computer. But it's the Humvee sitting beside a display table and a boat, and I'm kind of proud of that. We had a scouting event that my Sea Scouts signed us up to have a display to do some recruiting, and we took the boat to set it up. And in a video, I posted the video on Facebook. It's world famous catamaran sailor Joe at Joyrider TV recorded an intro just for us. You know, hey,
Oh, cool.
welcome to Sea Scout Ship 4019, and here's what they do, and it was super cool. We had that playing on the TV, and I had the Humvee there. The Humvee hasn't been out in public much lately for a couple reasons that I don't really want to talk about, but it made a rare public appearance. I was very happy to get out to support a good cause of supporting the Scouts for that.
Absolutely.
And we are about to start in the summer we do sailing activities, boating
Hmm.
activities. In
Yeah.
the off season, we do shooting sports. And
Oh, okay,
later this
cool.
month, we're getting the ship is what it's called. The unit's called a ship. We're getting the ship out to the local shooting range. And
Is this
Chris,
something new? Have you been doing this for a while?
they've done it in past years, but since I've been the one the grown up in charge, it's the first time we've done it. We've talked about it, but
Yeah.
we just haven't been able to line anything up. Well, in the early days of firearms on Gear Report, Chris Brokes was around as one of our gun reviewers, and he went to, geez, when was it? It was 2016. He was part of the crew that went to the NRA show in Indianapolis with Gear
Uh-huh.
Report, and uh, he ran the camera and audio for us on that trip, and was really instrumental in a lot of the uh, video editing stuff that we did on that trip. So he's going to teach that class, and I'm pretty excited because most scout shooting events are very basic. You know, the Cub Scouts start with the BB guns and they work up to 22 long rifles. If they're incredibly lucky, they may get to shoot like a black powder rifle or a
Right.
22 revolver. Well, Chris is going to set it up. We're probably going to use 22 mostly, at least on the first trip, just because ammo availability and who
Absolutely.
has, you know, what guns we have available that are consistent, so we can have like one type that everyone uses.
Right.
But he's saying, all right, we're going to work through the basic safety, you know, qualify, make range rules stuff real quick. And then we're going to do some tactical shooting instruction. And
Awesome.
I was like,
Awesome.
oh, yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
So I'm pretty stoked about that,
Yes,
because
that
while
sounds
I
like
was in
fun.
the military, while I was issued a firearm and carried it all over the world, I had almost zero training in how to use it. Like just the
Yeah,
very
you said
basic.
that before. That's
No
surprising to me.
tactical at all. Like nothing, hardly at all.
Did y'all have like a yearly requirement to like qualify or anything, or
Qualification, I think it may have been every year or three that we had to qualify, because in my initial job, I didn't I didn't even have to qualify. Like I qualified on the M16 in basic training,
sure?
and I didn't shoot 50 rounds for that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I think they even had 22 adapters for us, and we didn't even get to flip the switch. It was all semi.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
kind of
depending on
sucked.
the, I guess they have different jobs probably require certain things, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and
That's interesting.
invariably the guys that got the folks who got the shooting jobs, you know, like the security police
Sure.
or that kind of thing, were the ones that almost didn't qualify. It was really comical. It's like you leave the range day, no, oh, man, these five guys barely knew which end of the gun went bang.
And they're the ones that are actually going to be using them.
We know that next week when they send out the who gets what job, they're going to be the ones going to the
Yeah,
positions where they're actually armed. Good to see you, Rich, with three
exactly.
yos. All right, matching defense dad yo for yo this evening. I like to see people getting the appropriate amount of yos in. That's good. Um, so anyhow, I'm excited about that. That
Sure.
with Scouts, we'll get to do not just some shooting stuff, but we're going to incorporate some really interesting, more fun, not your standard. Okay, sit at the bench, everyone aim down range, shoot at the paper. Nope, we're going to throw steel and other, maybe some dynamic steel targets, and have them on, you know, shooting and moving, all kind of fun stuff
Yeah, that'll be
that they
fun.
normally wouldn't get to do.
I think the kids will enjoy that as well.
Yeah, if I let them do it, I may just do it myself the whole time.
You're just gonna show demos all day and say, "Here's what you got to do, guys." Oh, I'm sorry, we ran out of time. My bad. We'll get you next time.
Yeah, dang. Yeah. Oh, and when the shooting portion is done, the Scouts go home. Then I get to take the test for RSO, because I've not done
Oh,
that
sweet.
yet,
Yeah,
and and that'll be good, just because as the unit, we sometimes have had trouble booking shooting range time because this BSA rules require like more stringent number of RSOs, that kind of thing, especially if you're shooting pistols. So getting me qualified and a couple other people will really help with that. So it'll be good.
Now, the scouts, how old does that go up to? Is it 18 or is it 16 or how old does that go up to?
If it's a scout troop, you know, what we would traditionally have called a Boy Scout troop, they call it a Scouts BSA troop now, goes up to 18. When they turn 18, they age out. What I'm working, and that's like 11. It's got a couple rules. I think it's like I can't remember which grade it is now. Maybe it's 6th grade. I can't remember, but whatever. It's like an age or finished a certain grade, and then you can go be in a troop. And then when you turn 18, you age out.
I got you. Okay.
But what I'm working with now, and my son did that, and as he got a little older, then also under the Boy Scouts of America is Sea Scouts, which have been around for over 100 years. It's like a very old program. It's just not very common unless you live at the sea. So, and we don't, but we have, you know, we're an inland ship, they call it. Instead of a troop, we're a ship. And they can be 14 to 20. When they turn 21, they age out. So it makes a really cool program for scouts who have aged out of a troop, or they've already done what they wanted in the troop and they're bored, and, you know, they can come. That we do things that they don't normally do in a troop. You know, if they go sail something in a troop, it's going to be a couple kids on a boat with really strict supervision. We still supervise them to be safe, but they're a little older, a little more mature, a little more skilled. We put them on a boat and say, hey, be back in an hour and a half or whatever.
Right. Well, I was thinking there might be some 17 and in the Sea Scouts of the 20, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids that might actually be interested in possibly getting them into the RSO program as well. Kind of police their own. That'd be kind of interesting.
I'll have to look into that because a lot of the BSA rules require to be called an adult for some of the safety things like that. You need to be 21. I'm assuming that's probably going to be the case for that.
Yeah, I was if you're in the troop or in the unit, whatever you call it, they probably wouldn't allow that. I was just thinking it'd be kind of a cool thing that if they could get them into that, when it gets them into that side of the life, but taking responsibility, being a leader amongst your troop mates and all of that, would be kind of a cool thing as well.
I wonder what I did this time. Is Crystal coming in like 20 minutes late on?
She might hit the live button because she might not be live.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a little confusing. Usually I know what I did when someone says, hey, watch it. But this time I'm not even sure. Okay. You got anything cool coming up? Like
I said, I've got about 7 or 8 different things that I'm going to have to get reviewed. I've got a couple of Manus project things that were sent. I've got the Blackbeard and the Academy that were sent to me. I got to get those done. I've got a lot of cool little stuff for long range stuff that I've been, diving into that. So I'll have some muzzle brakes, some bags, some tripods, some binoculars, all sorts of kind of cool trinkets to maybe review, which might help. You never know. If it helps someone, then it's worth it.
Cool. Have you published any kind of like a gift guide or anything?
Not yet. That is something I am working on, though.
No one, I keep telling myself I need to send a note to the Gear Report team with a suggestion. Hey, this is the time of year when putting out a gift guide would be really awesome. And I just keep forgetting to do it. So
I might try to work on that over the weekend and early next week, try to get it done before obviously Black Friday and Cyber Monday hits. That's a good idea. I'll work on that.
The past 4 or 5 years, I spent so much time going through all the different Black Friday options and posting deals, and it had almost zero impact on anything other than burning a ton of time for me. So I think I'm not going to do it this year. I'm going to maybe focus on trying to create a couple gift guides for different things,
Yep. I think the gift guide that I'd probably end up doing right now is uh, more long range stuff because that's what I'm into right now. But there are so many little trinkets and little, you can spend $2,000 on some items, but some items might cost you 50 or 60. Those
Mm,
might be, hey, if you've got someone who's in this long range competition game, this might be a cool gift to
yeah,
get them for Christmas. It's a $60, bag, a support bag, or a
sure.
tripod, or a kestrel, or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So all the people who are here, we got a bunch of people in the chat that produce content. So get your articles together, get them over if you want to share them on Gear Report as well.
Yeah.
I've got a couple ideas for things. I'm going to put. I need to do like a backpacking gear guide, a Philmont gear guide, and
Hmm.
uh, uh, like a basic sailing guitar stuff. And some of them I already have content. This is a great thing. You can repurpose some content you already have,
No
put
doubt
links
about it.
into reviews you've already done. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, this could be good. This could help a lot of people. So,
Yep.
I think with that in mind, I think we're about time to wrap up here. I want to show one thing real quick. I think. Do I even want to? Yeah, I'm going to because whether anyone cares or not, I'm excited. So I'm going to share a couple things here. I've been building my wall of more expensive guitars, and I think just what you can see in this picture is like $5,000 worth of guitars or something. So, um, because I've been trying to stock up my Gear Report guitar store, the Reverb store for the holidays, buying a bunch of stuff. I've bought and sold a whole bunch of cheap guitars. Okay, let me try a couple of the more expensive ones and see how that goes. And this one was the first like really kind of moderately high end one that I got. It's a American
Is that a
Fender.
Fender?
It's a American Fender Stratocaster. They
Okay,
call it
yeah.
the Strat Plus is what that one's called.
It
And
looks
then
like the
this,
old Buddy Holly, Buddy Holly styled guitar, back in the late 50s,
yeah, and then this is the probably the most expensive one I have right now. It's a 1991. It's also a Fender Stratocaster, an American made one, and it's called a Deluxe Stratocaster Plus. And I swear the thing looks brand new. It had a little bit of wear where it had been played, but it hadn't been banged or dinged on anything, and looked almost brand new. It's absolutely amazing. Um, and I probably need to sell both of them as quickly as I can because I have a little bit of money in them. But I love both of them. And I'm like, all right, there's no way I can justify like this one I have listed for $2,100, and the other one will be more if and when it gets listed. I can't justify keeping them for that kind of money, but they're just too awesome. So
Now,
I may have
Are you a Fender fan, or I mean, when you go out there looking, are you looking for good deals, or do you kind of gravitate towards Fenders in
Well,
general?
Fender and Gibson, this one is a Gibson, this one's a Gibson. Those are the two biggest like consumer brands. Um, but I'm all about the deal for what I'm doing because this is, I mean, that's why I hadn't published a lot lately. Is I've had to focus more on some revenue generating stuff, and buying and selling guitars and trading guitars has supplemented the income. I was making a whole lot buying and selling Humvee parts last year, and my parts sources dried up. So I've had to figure out how to replace that income. And buying and selling guitars has gone pretty well, but I've done just cheap guitars. So I said, you know what? I've made enough money. I'm going to invest in some higher end ones, see if I can make some money on those, and also get to try them. It's like buying and selling guns. I did that for a while and had a blast trying all kinds of new stuff. Like, I really don't care what it is. If the deal's right, I'll buy it, play with it for a while, sell it, see how much money I can make, and sometimes generate a review out of it. So, I mean, that's how I got started. I got started doing that with kayaks. That's before it was called Gear Report. It was Jeff's kayak reviews, and that's what I did. I started with $100 and bought a cheap kayak and used it for 2 weeks. wrote a review. When the review was done, I sold it for $200, put that in something else, and just kept doing that until I think the last one I sold for like $1,500 or something. But just kept buying new stuff, trying new stuff. Did it with CNR guns, old collectible military surplus guns. Did it with modern pistols, long range rifles, semi-auto rifles, bayonets. I mean, you name it, I've gotten interested in it, it seems like, and bought a whole bunch of stuff, played with it, sold it. Yep, that's just what I do.
That's what it's all about.
Yep, it's having fun without going broke. At least that's the idea.
That's the idea. Yep.
Yep. All right, everyone, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate all the interaction in the discussion. Ghost, thanks for coming. Hadn't talked to you in a while, so good to have you back on the show. Really appreciate that. Filling in for TJ, who is admittedly being a slack ass tonight. So I'd like to send a big thank you to the Gun Snob for getting TJ sick out at the Wanamaker show and really screwing up my plans for a relaxing show where I relied on TJ to carry the weight, and I was just kind of here. And stop ruining that for me. But that's okay. I'm not bitter or anything. And as far as we know, TJ isn't either. So anyhow, thanks for being here. The show, next Thursday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. I don't know if we're going to have a show or not. I'm leaning towards probably not, but we'll see. Yeah, if you see it pop up in the stream, hop in and say hello. I don't know whether we're going to do that or not. We may do something briefly. Who knows? We'll see. TJ's faking. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him, but then again, he's usually pretty reliable on that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. But
I blame Clover, honestly. I blame Clover for everything, though, so it's all good.
I'll be left by then. It'll be perfect. Okay. Sounds like maybe we'll have a show. It's hard to say. Well, I'll be at a big family get together, and I can't deal with that kind of situation unless I'm getting lit. So the 2 times I drink are when I'm with TJ, just invariably. If TJ's there and I'm there, but it's a completely different reason. When I get together for a family event, it's like so I don't kill people. It's so I don't have to go sit in a room by myself.
Oh, you can utilize the show next Thursday as an excuse as why you have to leave the big family gathering.
I don't know. It could be. But I'll probably I have found that if I have 2 or 3 or 8 drinks, that it makes it go by a little easier.
It's tolerable, so sure.
I'll be in a yeah. Maybe a show's not a good idea.
Oh, I think it'd be a great idea. It would be for great entertainment.
Yeah. You'll drink every day if you live with Snob. I'm trying to imagine a scenario where I would live with Snob, and as cool as that sounds, I'm not sure that I'm up for that. Is it worthy? Is that the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure I'm worthy. I don't know. Not sure I'm up for it. Anyhow, thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate it. Please check out Ghost Tactical. He's got a website. He's got a YouTube channel. He's on every social media platform except for 2. Clover's on all of them. Ghost is on almost all of them.
Clover's before, though.
Well, aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all, though? Yeah, sure.
It's not cool at all. Marital bliss. Yeah. Airing your dirty laundry right here on the interwebs. Anyhow, thanks for being here at This Week at Gear Report. Until next week. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I've got to do the outro. Let me find it. Okay. Until next week, we'll see you on the range.